All right, welcome back, everybody. Week 125, learning Finnish. Good to see you all here. JS, Fisher, Poyu, Lorelei, JF, 27, DV. Wow, there's a lot of you here. On time. I like it. You got some rain over there in Puniki, JF. Over in Tampere, if I remember correctly. Look, yeah, okay, 27. I'm not just gonna put the announcement. I preloaded the link in Discord, but I wasn't gonna post it until like I go live. I don't want to post it and then not go live for like 10 or 15 minutes, right? I mean, I could. It's not a big deal, but I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to bait people. But yeah, good to have you guys here. Today, I want to show you guys kind of how I practice Finnish when I use the, these news flashcards. I use the Selko-uutiset. So today, we've got this alkoholitestaus, elokapina, and kattohaikarat. And I wish I could translate all of this. But it's like some of these words seem so familiar. I know "sa" means weather, all right? That's every day. But this is obviously have to do with alcohol and testaus. What is a testaus? Is that a test? Sometimes Finnish surprises you when the words look exactly like English. But there's so many other words for test in Finnish, like koe, and some others I can't think of, but I don't think it's a test. It's got to be something else I can't think of, but something to do with alcohol. I know they're like reforming the law around like alcohol in grocery stores, so it might be about that. And then there's elokapina. Elokapina. I should know what this is, right? Why do I think kapina means like a cabinet? I feel like that's one of those words that kind of crosses over. And I think of elo in the word elokuva, meaning like a movie. Am I deducing something here? It's a movie cabinet. You know the cabinet where you keep all your DVDs? Yeah. It's time for you to go and revisit that cabinet. And and then what the heck is this? Katto haikarat. Haikarat. Well, okay, we have a hint here that there's some dude bird watching, right? Katsele tästä kiitos. So it's like, watch from here, please. See, I can translate the sign. So it's saying like, they don't want you to disturb the birds, so they try to put signs to keep you behind the line. So I'm guessing something here has to do... Why do I feel like there's... Okay, Hakkara. Is that the word for magpie? I feel like I learned something like that a while ago. There's harukka for a fork, and then there's harakka for a magpie, but I always mispronounce it. I never use the correct number of vowels and consonants. Okay, that is both a combination of a lack of knowledge and a lack of ability. Like, even if I had the knowledge, I still wouldn't be able to pronounce it right. But because I can't pronounce it right, it's harder for me to remember. So there you go. Look, it's my cultural inheritance in the English language to not pronounce words the way they're spelled, okay? So I would like for you guys to have a little bit more cultural respect and awareness for me as a native English speaker. Thank you very much. Oh, elokapina means Extinction Rebellion. Ah. So okay, yeah, that's where I've seen that before. It's an organization or a movement, and there's been protests lately. Um, so yeah, the haikara pair is nesting in Turku. Oh, is that this bird? Whatever this type of bird is that a crane or a heron? What is that? It looks like a crane to me. Anyways, okay, so here's what I often do is I will copy the text over to ChatGPT and give it instructions to pull out the 30 like most important vocab words and then put it like in a little table format so that it fits my spreadsheet. And so you can sort of see, and I paste them down here. And I put the date and whatever so that I can, I don't know, sort it better in my app. But let's see. Actually, I haven't tested this yet today. So if the spreadsheet breaks, well, nothing. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay, Elo Life. But yes, here we go. I have no idea what this means. Kiinni makes me think of something as closed. To close. And then huomiota. Well, huomio. Does that mean to improve? To close? Why does this look like they are two verbs next to each other? To close, to improve. I have no idea. To draw attention. Let's see if there's a Wiktionary for this. I don't think so. Oh, it is. It's actually common enough that it has its own Wiktionary page. To pay attention. Kiinnittää is to fasten or to fix, to attach. Here, I'm going to pull up these words separately on their own page. Kiinni does mean closed. So I was on the track in terms of, the roots, the root word. But in this context, kiinnittää, to fasten, to mortgage your attention to a point, to belay in a nautical term. Okay, interesting. To fasten or like fix, fix one's eyes on, like this, right? Or you can mortgage a property. Kiinteistö. But this one here is the most common, I guess. The first one that's listed, to pay attention or to draw attention. And then huomio. Huoma. Huomio means attention, mental focus. Yeah, I was totally wrong with this. But that's good. That's those are new words, a new phrase for us. So I just say that I got it wrong, and we will try to get it. I sometimes I look at the sentence, but I don't like to do that yet. I just want the raw vocab word. Työterveys. Well, hold on. Terveys. Work health? Work health? It is. Okay, I was right. Occupational health. That's your work health. But does that... Let me see. That just refers to like... Well, I guess it doesn't really explain it here either. What is this... I don't know what this means in English. Occupational health? I assume that refers to like the health of the individuals, like the employees, right? In the workplace. I got close enough. I think. Well, test is actually one of the words, apparently. That's one of the limitations of my my spreadsheet here in the script that I use. Sometimes it flashes answers, but it never flashes the answer of whatever word is coming up next. It will flash the answer of a different word. It's a weird sort of bug that would just take too much effort for me to fix. It's kind of like bonus material. Like if you're paying attention, you can take advantage of it. Usually I'm not motivated enough to do that. You understand it merely as healthcare provided by employers. Okay, yeah, I got it wrong then. It's occupational health care. Health and healthcare are different things. And the word should have an a. Oh, this word is wrong? Weird. Well, I have no idea what it is. And Thuaterveus is an institution. Ah, okay. All right, well, let's go in and fix some of this nonsense here, right? Where were we? Did I pass it? So yeah, I'm gonna say occupational health care for that. So yeah, this is one of the limitations, I suppose. When you're using ChatGPT, you know, you get stuff, but it's not always great. Oh wait, I went too far back. Wait, what was the original word? Oh, here it is. Here's an interesting. So yeah, it does. The original article does have it like this, but then ChatGPT didn't give it to me correctly. I don't know why. I don't think it's ever done that before. Sometimes it will make mistakes, but that's really weird, actually. Like, the mistakes it'll make aren't like actual mistakes. It'll be just like not following instructions. But this would actually be a grammatical mistake. Kind of surprising, actually. But don't worry. We'll fix it. An artificial nest. Que no pesa. Yeah, ChatGPT doing some nonsense again. This is the other thing with it. It's like, I've noticed in using it, there's some days it has good days. Other days, it's just like, you know what? I'm in dumb mode. Like, I guess it's like constantly evolving or changing or whatever. And that can make it then not as useful for a project like this, where I'd like to add vocab every day using the same prompt. But, you know. Like, sometimes it seems like it puts a lot of effort into in giving you a good answer, or, you know, doing whatever you tell it. And then other times it's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. It's like almost like a human. It's kind of like, you know, you send an email and then you get like a really short email back, and you're like, oh, they just were kind of done for the day. You know, like, and maybe not that that's happened to me, but like, I've noticed the difference in myself. There are times when I will send back thoughtful emails, and then there are times where like I'm just like, yes, yeah, yep, I can do it. You know, no other information, no other pleasantries, and that's ChatGPT does that sometimes, I've noticed. So maybe it's and sometimes it's time of day as well. Like, I find that in the evening it's a bit worse, Maybe because there's more usage in the evening because the people in the US are awake and at work using it or whatever. I don't know. And there was another mistake, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, artificial nest, got it wrong. Moving on. DV, you started calling AI string predictor. Merkio no ennustajä. That's more descriptive for what it does. Yeah. Yeah. Just predicting words. Yeah, LLMs, language learning models. Yes, you hate them with a growing passion. Yksityisyyden suoja. I should know something like it's like words. I think this first part has to do with like private or privacy. A private suoja. I don't know what that is. An order? Is it like a private order or a private contract? I feel like there's another word kind of like this. I don't know. No, it's protection. Ah. Okay. Privacy protection. Hey, Helion. Welcome in. How are you? It's going pretty well. I'm just practicing some new vocab from today's Selko Utiset. Hautawa. I've never seen this word before. Maybe I have. To incubate. Yeah, okay. I've never seen this word. And you can sort of see in real time, like, this is what I would often do in the mornings. Not on stream. When I'm just sort of practicing reading the news. I go much quicker than I'm going right now. If I don't know it, I'm just like, click, got it wrong, boom, boom, boom. I'm just, kind of, and you'll see. Because I go first through all of the unpracticed ones that I added today from today's Selko, and then I cycle through all the incorrect ones. So the ones that I haven't gotten correct yet once, they'll reappear after I iterate through all of the unpracticed. And then I might switch to the sentences, or I might just switch over and try to read it, as is. From a lawyer's viewpoint, DV, yksityisyyden suoja and was it privacy protection aren't the same. It's something else than privacy protection. But in everyday speech, they're close enough. What would you translate it as, DV? As a lawyer. Poikanen. Boyish? A chick. This just I just saw poika and and then I saw the N-E-N ending to it, so I was like, I thought it would be an adjective. But in this case, no, it's a noun. And it refers to the chick of a stork. That was the bird that we saw earlier, not a crane, a stork. Maybe we'll get that word again, and I'll get it right. But yeah. Poikanen and pentu are offspring. Privacy protection would be henkilötietojen suoja. And this yksityisyyden suoja is more like protection of private life. What? I don't know if I understand the difference. How is your privacy different from your private life? Testy. That's a test. Got it right. And so this yksityisyyden protects more than your name, address, etc. Okay. Privacy protection is more just about your personal information, whereas protection of private life maybe is also like your actual space or something. I don't know. Like more than just the information, but also like if people were to show up at your house or like, I don't know, what would it be in this context? I guess we might find out from actually reading the Selko. Vapaa-aika is free time. Ilmastonmuutos. This has to do with climate change. I mean, it doesn't have to do with it. It is climate change. Climate change. Ilmasto. Climate. Muutos. Mielen osoittaja. Well, mielen would mean like an opinion or of a mind, right? And I don't know about this osoittaja. I don't know. I'm just going to say like an opinion, like a pundit, somebody who's like an influencer of opinions. Well, I was kind of close. Just not a pundit, like someone who's like, I don't know, like on TV, but a protester in this context. Or, well, a protester in any context, I guess. There was a news article update for that alcohol testing thing that Chocolatier doesn't have a right to tell the result for the employer. Okay, JS, thanks for that. Yeah. And actually, that's a good... I should look up that word. To point. To direct. Yeah. Or to demonstrate. That's a good word we use in English for when people have a protest. It can also be called a demonstration. Pessia. Is this nests plural? No. It actually could be nests plural, right? Hold on. Let's look it up. It's the verb, which we add, which I didn't guess. But it could also be the partitive plural of pesa for nest. I was right, but I didn't know that the verb was this. So, but I shouldn't punish myself for not knowing the more correct answer, I guess. But yeah, I'll say I got it right. Pessia, to nest. And yeah, you guys agree. It is also plural partitive. Yeah. Ulottua. I have no idea. Ulotta. Wait, ulottua. Well, this suggests it's intransitive. So it's like something is becoming or doing it itself. But I don't know what ulo would mean. To extend. To extend. Sometimes it does help to look at... This is one of like the things I really like about this spreadsheet is that I can look up the Wiktionary really quickly and maybe get a better idea of like where the word comes from, other meanings. If I come here, the variant of uletta, under influence from ulko, meaning outer, external. Okay. Yes. I've heard like wait, if you say like a foreigner, there's a word. Don't you use this ulkomaalainen or something like that? To anyways. Tyler's surprised to find that in Finnish a word might look the same but has multiple meanings. This feature is totally new one for him. Look, well, I'm surprised, like in a pleasant way, all right? Like I'm just experiencing the joy and wonder of life like a 5-year-old. Except where a 5-year-old would be able to absorb language like a sponge, I am a brick wall. To ensure that I always experience it like it's the first time, over over and over. It's an apt metaphor. Okay, jatkua. Why do I feel like this is like to continue, but it's probably not. I'm almost upset that I got that right, because there's so many words. There's like yatka, yatkua. I wonder what's the difference. Yeah, what's the difference between just saying yatka versus yatkua? Well, yatkua, it has that ua ending, so it's kind of, it forms this passive, translative, intransitive verbs from intransitive verbs, right? That's what we were trying to say. So it's like something continues itself, versus yatka, which is more like to continue doing something, to continue studying. Or to stretch something. It's just confusing because, like, you know, we say transitive, intransitive. In this case, it's like, it's not so obvious. Right? The prize money continues growing. If it, like, I would think that this is intransitive. Like, the money continues itself growing. It's not continuing something else. But I don't know, don't think too much about it. I did get it right, but only because I was thinking of yatka, and I could. Yeah. Yatkua, there might be a break before continuing? Alkoholin käyttö. Alcohol use, or the use of alcohol. Seurata. Potkut. Potkut. I've seen this word before, but I don't know what it means. Dismissal. Isn't there another way of saying like irtisanominen, right? Isn't that the way you can say, like, it's a saying away of somebody? That's how I remember it. Like, yeah, we are just saying, we are saying you must go away now. But yeah, potkut, dismissal. Why is it plural? That's interesting. It's the nominative plural. Because potku, oh, potkaise from Duolingo. Remember when we talk about the horse, the angry horse that kicks everybody in Duolingo, apparently in the Duolingo Finnish course? There's a horse. The only sentences in Duolingo with horses have to do with kicking and biting. Not a very horse-friendly representation over in the Finnish course. But yeah. Irtisanominen is more formal. Potkut is informal. Yeah. Yeah, we have a bunch of words like that in English. Somebody, yeah, you get fired, you've been sacked, I don't know, kicked to the curb. Loukata. Loukata. What? Oh, louka. I don't know. Yeah, I would not have guessed that. No way. To violate. To infringe. Is there a root word that'll help me here? Not really, no. To wound. To hurt. Loukkaus. Yatku was the title for years for TV commercial breaks. Every show, every break started and ended with a little jingle and the graphic saying Yatku. There's some context for you. What? How long ago was that? Very naute. Very naute. Well, hold on a second. Very, doesn't that mean blood? And we're talking about alcohol. So maybe it's like, and well, naute, kind of, nau makes me think of sight. Blood. But what could, this could mean maybe a sign or a blood signal. How about that? We'll say like, what is it? A blood indicator or something like that. There's got to be some word in English. You have like a, I don't know, a sample. Oh, I was close. I was close. Well, I'm proud that I at least got very. I got blood out of that, so I wouldn't normally. But yeah, blood sample, we'll get it next time. What's a TV, Lorelai? TV is something you play games on. A good old CRT. You guys remember that? When the TVs were so big that you had to purchase like a special like wardrobe. You remember? I don't know. We had, yeah, it was like the wardrobe would like come out. Like it was huge. It was like a closet just to hold the TV. I mean, there were smaller TVs as well. Otakini. To close? I mean, this is where I'm kind of like, hold on. Is this like, well, otta means like to take, right? Kiini is closed. Is this just another way of saying like to close? No. To detain, to arrest. It's funny because the sentence here is saying about like how the police detained. I was actually thinking about the protesters, but I was thinking this might mean that the protesters closed the road, because I did see that in the news. That's what I was like, they took the road into closed condition. I don't know. That's not, I shouldn't even be saying that because now I'm teaching myself the wrong the wrong translation. But to detain, to arrest, got it wrong. You just had a big table, Lorelai. Sturdy table. 32-inch CRT was top of the line, and it weighed more than you did at the time, Helion. And now 32 inch is tiny. Yeah. Yeah, like so nostalgic thinking back to those times when like you remember the sound when you would turn on the PlayStation 1? You and that feeling of holding that controller and you put the game in. You know, you got a new game for Christmas. It's like Crash Bandicoot, you know, and you put on that and it plays that the PlayStation logo shows up and it does that like beautiful, you know, almost like that Dolby digital surround sound. And then the game loads up and it's just like there's like Tony Hawk Pro Skater. To catch is also an important translation for otakini. Okay. Yeah. You could have that on the PS5. Otakini is heads up. Catch. But also catching protesters. Yeah, it kind of makes it sound like they were running. But yeah. The only game console you had, Poyu, was an Atari 2600 back in the early 80s. You're an OG gamer. I've been thinking a lot about gaming and whatever because of the new Switch, the Switch 2, and how I don't want to get it. And like the only reason I would want to get the Switch 2 is if there's a new Zelda game that just looks so incredibly good. But no, like even then I don't think I could justify it. Like yeah, it's so much more expensive than the first Switch and there's so little value added. And now they want to charge you for all sorts of extra things and the games cost even more. Like whatever the next Zelda game is, it's probably going to cost 90 or 100 euros. At the rate that we're moving now, it's just like Nintendo knows they can just kind of charge whatever now and people will pay. And I'm just kind of like, yeah. And like I don't want to ramble too much about this, but I loved Breath of the Wild. But even then, Breath of the Wild wasn't like this game that I returned to like Stardew. Like it was a really fun game to play through, and there actually recently I have been thinking it would be fun to play it again for the first time and just re-experience the early game. And then Tears of the Kingdom was kind of a disappointment when, especially in terms of the world building, and that yeah, that it just kind of made me feel like, you know, Nintendo isn't really delivering 80 euro games. I mean, come on. And it's certainly not on a 500 or whatever. I don't even know. I haven't even looked at the price in Finland. I've just been seeing it in US dollars, $500. It's probably like closer to 600 euros or something insane. But yeah, it's just like, you know, because I look back at, because I think, should I have even bought a Nintendo Switch? Because I look back and I've only ever really played Zelda. I tried playing Animal Crossing, but I didn't really like it. I do have another game I need to play, Sea of Stars. I still haven't played that. I've been trying to play some, like go through some other games first. But yeah, I don't know. It's, you know, it just doesn't make sense when you've got so many quality games on Steam and every few weeks. I mean, every week there's some discount happening on Steam or some festival or something, you know, where it's like it's such a more rewarding and interesting ecosystem on Steam than Nintendo, where there's never any discount and the company is just almost actively hostile towards its fans. And you're just like, I don't know. Is it like, is it that they can just get away with it because people are such diehard fans that they won't switch? No pun intended. You know, or is it that the fans, the people that buy the Switch, are just like parents and grandparents that don't know any better and are just like, yeah, and they just have so much money to spend anyway? Is that the case? I feel like that can't be the case, right? All right, my rant's over. Yeah, first party Nintendo games never go on sale. Wait, JS, you're only getting Switch 2 Metroid Prime 4. Sucks big time on first Switch. They haven't even released a proper Mario game on Switch 2 yet. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, oh, at the very least, let us have, like, okay, if I get a game on Steam and my computer sucks at playing it, if I get a better computer and that game now plays better, I don't need to pay the game for the game again. But Nintendo's like, no, you got to pay for the game again. You know, oh, you know, you want to upgrade your Tears of the Kingdom to play on Switch 2? Well, you got to pay extra for that now. It's like, it reminds me of the practices at amusement parks where it's like you pay a lot of money to get into the amusement park, only to find that you have to keep spending money just to like do anything. Like, okay, some things are going to cost more, you know, and okay, maybe the food is a bit ridiculous how expensive that is, but you know, but you can get on the rides, you can do everything in the park, like, and then some parks change that. Like Disney has experimented so much with how they nickel and dime you at, you know, Disney World or wherever, and it's just like it's so unfriendly to the consumer unless you just have so much money that you don't care. It feels more like a casino, right? Like a casino that's just actively trying to get as much money out of you as possible. Like it's your fault for walking into the casino that day, you know? Right? You know, like I just, yeah. But there's been a small price, like 10 euros for upgrades for PS4 games, for PS5 before this. So it's not just Nintendo that will do this kind of thing as well. Yeah, a lot of companies are doing that. I kind of just wish, like, you know, just I it's like the price of the system is one thing. But like once you have your people, you know, once you have a consumer in your ecosystem, like treat them well. Give them a, like, I don't know, some special perk. Like if you've already purchased the Switch 1 games, like just let them play with the Switch 2 graphics. Like why do you have to pay extra for that? That's just like you know, or like have a cool, like give the Wii sports game, you know, like put a game on there for free. Like imagine if they had Switch 2 sports. I haven't seen anybody pitch that idea, but that would be really, like, have some better games. But no, you have to get like Mario Kart, and that's another 80 euros or something. Like, come on. It's just like ridiculous. Yeah, Nintendo is, I mean, the thing is, like, it feels much more like short-term thinking, right? Like, yeah, it's in the long term, I think they could make more money, like by continuing to uh like, I don't know, protect the loyalty of their customers, to value that loyalty for long-term spending, right? That people will keep returning to this system and the games and the ecosystem, right? You know, the ecosystem that they create that's like exclusive. But now they're like, oh, actually, we could make a lot more money this year if we You know, like even just using the voice chat, you have to pay for a subscription. Like Nintendo acting like they put the the physical, you know, internet cables into my apartment. Like, come on. God. It's just like, I don't know, too much nonsense. But yeah, I know. I'm like, now I said I was gonna stop rambling, but now I've just been going on and on. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's not a complete, it's not like a terrible system, but I don't know. What I really wish, I wish they had like come out with like, I don't like, how do I explain? I don't like something that is like half this and half that. That's like lukewarm. I almost never play my Switch handheld. Like to me, I I don't know, it just doesn't really make sense. It's much more enjoyable to play it here. Like I don't, when I go outside precisely to not play video games. Like I don't need to be bringing a Nintendo Switch with me anywhere. Like when I sit on a bus, I'm the kind of person, I like to just sit there and watch stuff go by and think. I don't need to be looking at a screen or anything. Like, you know, so it's not like gaming isn't something I do on the go. I kind of just wish instead of having this in between, like, you know, half console, half handheld, they just made a really good console that would actually play games better than the Switch. And that would actually play more of like the third party games. Like I got like a few months ago, I tried playing the Harry Potter game. And I was so surprised at how bad it looked on Switch. I got it from the library. And I was just like, I thought this was a AAA game. Why does it look so bad? And then I saw that actually the Switch version of this Harry Potter game is like, I mean, yeah, it looks awful compared to playing it on a proper system or on the, you know. And it's just like, yeah, I don't know. So it's like, it's not really worth it to play it for third-party games anyway. And okay, wait, I digress. I'm going to... So this, I happen to know, is like a stork. I'm going to say it's a stork. It's a white stork. That was close enough, all right? We don't need to split hairs here. Yeah. Portability is irrelevant. I want to play games on the big TV. And it's like, if I really wanted portability, I honestly would just get the Steam Deck. Like, it looks so much more comfortable. I don't know. The Switch is trying to be too many things at once, and it's just like too much. Too much. You switch from Windows to Linux, JF. Gaming isn't all there, but better than you remembered. Okay, that's encouraging. Which doesn't compare favorably to other current gen consoles. Some titles do work surprisingly well, most just don't. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a moot point for me because I already have games in the backlog of my Steam library. So I'm kind of set. Like, I don't need... Sometimes I wonder about people who, like, just buy so much stuff. I'm like, you don't have the time for that. You know, like, when do you play? Do you play each game for an average of, like, 30 minutes? You know? Like... It's all, I don't know. It's like, enjoy the things that you have. Like, it's better to like read books fully than to just read the first 10 pages of a bunch of books and that, but like to pretend like you have more knowledge, you know. It's better to have read, I don't know, yeah, like to read in depth. Right? That's also like the point. It's like, it just doesn't make sense for me even to like think about getting a Switch 2. However, there is a game coming out. It is coming on Switch, but I think I'm going to get it on PC. Tales of the Shire. We aren't going to go into detail because I've already ranted about this like 4 times on stream. But it is like It's a game I don't expect to be very good. I'll say that up front. But it is a game that's crossing so many genres that match my profile, right? Lord of the Rings and cozy kind of, I don't know, farming games, social games. But yeah, we'll see. I might play it on stream. I don't know. But I also feel bad. Like, I don't want to like play a game and just like, I don't know. If other people enjoy it, I don't want to take away from it. I don't want to hate on a game if it's not right for me. But it is also nice to be able to express your opinion, and just be like, you know what, this game sucks. That's how I feel about some like Tears of the Kingdom. I was thinking about how like it was a game I really liked and also really disliked. Like, it was still a good game that I finished the game. I probably put in 100 hours or more. So it wasn't a bad game, but there were so many frustrating things about it that just made me sad because, it's sort of like seeing the potential in something. And then it just, it falls short for really dumb reasons as well. Like, it has nothing to do with the capability of the hardware. It was just creative decisions that it was like watching the implosion of Game of Thrones. It didn't have to be that way. It could have been a Breaking Bad season 5 banger. That's the best ending to a TV show ever, probably. Okay, I really game playing dissing stream. Yeah, well, I don't know. I want to. Life is, in some sense, life is too short to like diss stuff. What was this? This was a protester, right? Or a protest? Because Osoittaja was the protester. This is a protest. Mielen osoitus. Yeah. I was wondering why we got the same word again. Because yeah. Työelämä. Work life. Get out of here. Testitulos. A test result. See? We're doing it. Runsas. No idea. Heavy. Abundant. We'll try to remember that. Runsas. Näkyä is to seem or to appear. No problem. Kertoa is to tell, to report. Edellinen. Oh, I always get this wrong. Edellinen. Does that mean former? Yeah, previous, former. Oh, no, sorry. Trick, psych. Ympäristöliike. So this has environment, like climate alliance. Wait, liike. Climate alliance. No, environmental movement. I just want to look at these words. Yeah, liike means movement. I don't know why. I thought there's another word like this that I think means alliance or something. Like the Finnish political group, Left Alliance. What is that called in Finnish? Liitto. Thank you, Lorelai. Yeah, that's why I was like, I did see the K and I was thinking, it seems different. That's why I was hesitating But I did get this, like, well, environment. Imparista. Seurata is to follow. By the way, guys, this microphone has not broken. There was something off with that other microphone. This one, no problems yet. Yet. You guys want a light show? Boom. So, you know what, something I don't understand. There's, when I press this button, it changes the light. Does it just keep it at this color? Because I guess I can just choose which color I want to leave it at. But then there are times that it cycles through the colors, and I can't tell if it's just cycling very slowly or not. What color should I be? I like the blue. Dark blue. Actually, you know what? That's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. It's not too much in your face, you know? Liike is an interesting term. It can mean movement, both physical and as an ism, but also a business, as in a store. Don't tempt fate, Lorelei, with the microphone. I know, right? We're in a new era of Tyler streams. What's the warranty end date for the new mic? I can tell you that you'll get problems with it the very next day. Yep, pretty much. What is this? Varmudella. Does this mean like to confirm? No, it means with certainty. I thought it was a verb by the ending. I don't know why. But yeah, with certainty. It has the, what ending is that? That's not illative. Is it elative? Whatever. It's a case ending. Tutkia is to research. It is not to research. That's tutkia with a T. Tutkia. Tutkia is to block. And that's what the protesters were doing, right? Elokapina blocked traffic. And then they got ottakini. Finnish dyslexia attacks. It is my condition. Hey, so now we've gone through, yeah, we practiced the 30 words. So now it automatically goes to all the ones that I got incorrect. So I have, hey, look, we got half correct and half wrong. I mean, it's pretty average for me when I'm, just taking the vocabulary out of context. A lot of it I've never seen. Ottakini is to detain or to catch. That one we got right. Let's see if I get another one. Let's see if I remember any of them that I messed up. Mielen osoittaja. So that is a protester. Thank you very much. Sometimes the script is a bit slow. And this was the environmental movement. Ympäristöliike. No problem. Yksityisyyden suoja. So this has to do with privacy protection, but maybe more like protection of private life. According to my in-chat lawyers. Ace Attorney. A game I've never played, though I've heard it's a really good game. Varmudella is with certainty. And I give that answer. Varmudella. Varmudella. I haven't missed one twice yet. Tukkia, to block. hautoa. To injure or to inflict or something like that. I think. No, to incubate. There was another word that was something like that. I got them confused. So I did get this one wrong twice. To incubate. Hautoa. There's at least a one-letter difference between tukkia and tutkia. Even if there was no difference, the words could be different. True. Look, I mean, I'm just expressing my feelings, all right? I'm learning Finnish based off vibes. I'm not trying to denigrate the Finnish language, but sometimes it's difficult. Ulottua. This has to do with ulko, which means like outside. What? That doesn't help me. What was the to go outside? That can't be it. Ulottua. I don't remember. To extend, yeah. We got that one wrong. Whatever. Don't worry about it. Hautua kostua means to incubate revenge. And that's the most common context you hear the word. If we disregard egg production industry. Enopesa is a nest. Is it a type of nest? I don't remember. I remember it was misspelled, but I don't remember. It's not a verb. It can't be, right? It's an artificial nest. Artificial nest, I remember. Boom. Roasted. Ulottua. To extend. Get out of here. Get out of my face. Loukata. Loukata. Oh, this one is the one. This is like to injure. Or to wound. Right? To violate, to infringe, to injure, to wound. Was that? To wound. Boom, I did get it. Though maybe in this context, it's better to like, it's like this third one. But I'm close enough. Close enough. To violate. Oikanen is a chick. Potkut. That's like to get sacked, like to get fired. It's like dismissal, termination, right? Yeah, being fired. The act of it. Enopesa would more likely mean something else. It would make for a confusing situation. What? Let me type it in here. Enopesa. Oh, it doesn't have its own. Keno means a tool. Artificial or synthetic trick. Don't Google it on stream, Helion says. Yeah, that's why I keep my searches to Wiktionary. All right. If it isn't in here, I don't want to see what the internet's going to serve up. Runsas is heavy. Something about a base. Hautoa is to incubate. Hey, we're doing pretty well, actually. Verinaute is a blood sample. Verinaute. Kiinnittää huomiota. Why am I blanking on this? It's like to close. Wait, I'm trying to remember. This was the first word that we learned on stream, and it was so long ago. It was like an hour ago. How am I supposed to remember? I was thinking to close. Uomio. I can't think of it. To draw attention. I think it might be the last word or phrase. We'll have to get it right on this next. Yeah. Third base. Tail. What? Okay. There we go. Here's what I'm thinking. Let's go ahead and just read the news and see how we do. So, alcohol test. The first piece of news is about work life. I guess I should read it in Finnish as well, right? Aluksi uutinen työelämästä. Työpaikoilla on alettu seurata työntekijöiden alkoholin käyttöä uuden testin avulla. In workplaces, there has begun to follow. My English is going to be all messed up, but in workplaces, there has begun to follow like employees alcohol use new test with help. What's that? So in this case, it means to monitor, to follow, to monitor. Workplaces have begun monitoring employee or worker alcohol usage with the help of a new test. How about that? All right. That's a high quality English translation. Workplaces have begun to monitor employees' alcohol consumption using a new test. Pretty good. English language 5 out of 5, Helion. Thank you very much. Yeah, just put the translated words in English into the right order. See, that's the problem. There are too many configurations. Like a crossword puzzle. Testi on o testi. What is that? Why is the TH not capitalized in that? That's weird. Se tehdään työterveydessä työntekijän verinäytteestä. So the test is this type of test, whatever. Se tehdään. It is made in a work Well, it's made in work healthcare or like in a work health institute, in an occupational health center, maybe? Like, is it referring to the actual location? And uh, it is made with the employees' blood samples, or it's made from them, I guess, right? Is this plural? What? Why? What is? I feel like there's too much going on because it was naute, and then it becomes nauteista. But here, työntekijän. This is plural, right? No, this is not plural. This is singular. I'm going to guess that this is also singular. It is made from an employee's blood sample. Look, it takes me a minute, but I get there. The test is a PETH test. It's performed in occupational health on a blood sample from an employee. Yeah. Yeah, P ethanol, maybe? Yeah. It's not Finnish, it's medicalese. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Hey, Lemon, welcome in. How are you? Testi kertoo, onko työntekijä viime viikkoina juonut alkoholia ja kuinka paljon? The test tells if the employee has drank, has drunk. That's one of those verbs in English that is so weird because you have drunk, drunken. I think one time I even said dranken. Anyways, the test tells if the employee has drunk has drunk alcohol in the past week, and how much, right? This is an easier sentence, I think, at least. The test tells you whether the employee has drunk alcohol in recent weeks and how much. Oh, so I was a little off. I didn't see that this was plural. I'm just translating based off of the vibe I get deep down. Okay, so I just say viime viikko, last week. Boom. And why do I need to think about plural weeks? Whatever. Yeah, brain is fried. Yeah, the työterveys is healthcare paid by your work, basically. Yeah. There's a lot of variations in how people say the word drunk, especially after they have actually done that and have to explain to the authorities that they haven't. Maybe that is where the confusion comes from, right? It's also like then there's another verb like hang. Hang, hung, hanged. But you only say hanged if you're talking about people being executed or killed, right? Through through a noose, right? But if you hung a painting, you didn't hanged it. Runsas alkoholin käyttö voi näkyä testissä vielä 4 viikkoa lopettamisen jälkeen. Heavy alcohol use can appear in the test still 4 weeks after stopping, right? Is that what that means? Heavy alcohol use can still show up on the test 4 weeks after quitting. Okay. I don't know. It just felt kind of weird. Because I just would have said like 4 weeks. It can still show up on the test 4 weeks later. I just got kind of hung up because I was like, I don't know. It felt weird to say after quitting. Was a TV series sometime, decades ago. Noose is a good song by Sentenced. That sounds like a heavy metal band. Yeah, don't drink those amounts, but being able to tell weeks later is still scary. Yeah. You remember Lemon trying to learn verbs like that in English. Run, ran, run. Ring, rang, rung. Go, went, gone. Well, you know, actually, the funny thing about run is that it used to be rin. That's a case where the present, I run to the store, present tense, adopted the past tense. It used to be rin, ran, run. That's one of the few things I remember from studying Old English. And it might be the case like that in like Danish or Dutch or something. Rin might still be one of the forms they use. I can't remember. But it was a form in Old English. It was like that. But for some reason we're like, yeah, we don't want to rin anymore. We want to run. I run with the wolves. I don't rin with them. Yeah, you guys learned something today, right? There you go. Swedish has renna. That's true. I mean, you guys learn so little watching my stream. Sometimes I'm like, why do you guys even show up? It's for the vibes. It has to be. Because, like, I'm very thankful for you guys. Keeping me accountable and kind of having a little community to come back to every Tuesday is really good. It's good for me. It's good for me on an emotional level, not just on a practical level of learning Finnish. So it is kind of good for that as well. Even though it might seem like we don't learn that much on stream. This is about a community, all right? But yeah, but the value that you guys get out of it does surprise me. It's the entertainment in scare quotes, JS. Thank you for that. I really appreciate the use of scare quotes there. That's great for my my self-worth. But yeah. Anyways, okay, let's move on to the next sentence here. Työntekijä järjestöt. As a I forget. Yeah. As AK ja AKT kertovat, että työntekijä on voinut saada jopa potkut testituloksen takia. So it's saying here that employee organizations, is this like labor unions, right? SAK and AKT say that employees, or that an employee, työntekijä, an employee can get jopa. I forgot what jopa means, but it's like an employee can get fired due to the results or the result. Jopa. I should know that. I've seen that word before, but yeah, the employee organizations, SAK and AKT, say that the employee may even have been fired because of the test result. Is it past tense? I assumed it is past because this is like voinut on voinut. And then yopa is like even. I think it's for emphasis. So it's like, yeah. They say that an employee might have even been fired due to the test result. You like the chill vibes, Lemon? Thanks for that. Chill vibes until we start ranting about some video game related topic. Or I start lecturing on some obscure Tolkien lore. Oh, if you didn't enjoy the streams, you wouldn't come back every Tuesday. Well, thanks for that. I appreciate it. Leon, you think my version flows better than the Google Translate? Yeah, the rants are fun too. Yeah, I mean, for me, it is fun. You know, like it's fun to articulate your ideas. You know what I mean? When you're just like, yes. Or when somebody else articulates a good idea and you're like, yeah, that actually, you gave words to how I feel about this situation, how I feel about the state of world building in a video game. All right. And yes, I will watch an hour and 48-minute documentary about it. You know, like yeah, that's fun. That's fun. Työntekijöiden alkoholin käyttöä seurataan uuden testin avulla. The employee, yeah, it's repeating what it said here earlier. Employees' alcohol consumption is being monitored or can be monitored with the help of this new test or a new test, right? I'll just copy it over just to make sure. Employees' alcohol consumption is monitored using a new test. Työoikeuden asiantuntija professori Seppo Koskinen sanoo. So saying that a work rights, I don't know, there's got to be a worker's rights, labor rights. I don't know, what's the English phrase for this? It sounds wrong each time I say it. Whatever, labor rights researcher Professor Seppo Koskinen says that että testi loukkaa työntekijän yksityisyyden suojaa, sillä se ulottuu työntekijän vapaa-ajalle. So yeah, this professor also isn't like, okay, why is there a comma between these words? Oh, I guess it's because it's like this is more like the title of the person, not just their profession. It would be almost kind of like saying, yeah, labor rights expert, Mr. Seppo Koskinen, or in this case, professor or doctor, right? I don't know. I mean, commas are different in Finnish than English, obviously. Labor law expert. You come for the language struggle, stay for the rants, Helion? Well, I do deliver against my better judgment. Yeah, there are times where I'm like, I shouldn't rant too much about this. I know I'm supposed to learn Finnish. Lorelai will will call me out for not learning Finnish. I do have a few of you who are like, get back to studying, Tyler. But that's good. I'm not calling you out to stop. I'm just saying I know in the back of my mind this is a language learning stream. Not researcher. Oh yeah. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. I was thinking of Putkia again. But in this case, it's more like just like a subject matter expert, right? Just an expert. Yeah. Why does the comma belong there? Because the comma belongs there. Thank you, JS. You know what? I love it. I mean, it's the same level of logic that we receive for our deepest questions, right? Why do we exist? Because we do. All right. Don't think about it. Or think about it, but don't think about it. Yeah, Lorelai. Oh, you're okay. You're saying rants are still fun. Okay, well, I appreciate Lorelai. Thanks for saying that. But yeah, you do help me get back to the topic occasionally. When I've overindulged, which is pretty often. But wait, hold on. Anyways, I didn't translate the second half of this. I got caught up in the comma rules. So this professor says that the test infringes, right? Wasn't that the word? It like violates työntekijän. So it's saying here that it violates an employee's privacy protection, right? Or protection of private life. Yeah, and I think, this was a good point that was made earlier by DV, I believe, right? DV, you're the resident lawyer, that this has more to do with private life, not just like your personal information. So it's like privacy protection and sillä se ulottuu työntekijän vapaa-ajalle. Extends. Yeah. Where sillä, is that like, wait, missä, millä, when, then it, I'm not getting the connector word correctly, but it's basically like saying when it extends into an employee's free time, right? Yeah. Oh. In this case, it's more like because it extends. Sillä is more like because. Yeah, I get these all confused. Milloin is when. Lemon, I guess it would be since. The test reaches out its dirty fingers into the free time of the worker. Or because. Helion sillä is because, and just for future reference, siltä equals from it. Silli equals a herring. But wait, isn't there also like silta? Does that mean a bridge? Silta. Or does that, no, ranta means a shore or a beach. Silta means a bridge. And then silta means from it. And silli is a herring. And sillä means because. And siili is a hedgehog. Ah. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of feel like this kind of stuff. I'm more on the side of like privacy protections here, you know, because it's like, yeah, alcohol's not great, you know, but and like obviously if someone has an alcohol problem, like it's good for them to get help, but when employers are monitoring it, that's not the source of help. You know what I mean? And also, it's kind of like, I don't know, if someone is functional in their job, like if the employer can't tell that they're drunk, or you know that they are like performing poorly at their job, like the performance of the job should stand on its own. Like there shouldn't be these added extra things of like, oh, well, you also happen to have a drinking problem, even though we can't tell at work that it's affecting anything. We, you know, it's like, I don't know, the employer doesn't need to know that about your free time. Unless it's like obviously like you operate heavy machinery, right? Like maybe in those cases, like it would be important for people to be tested. But even then, I don't know. There's got to be some trust, right? Or there's got to be other ways. Aren't there like simpler ways of testing so that you don't gather knowledge about what happened over the past 4 weeks? Like, isn't someone able to be sober without having had, yeah, I don't know. This does seem to cross a line. This test seems to be a little too good. Like, I'm sure it could be useful in the context of like rehabilitation and like with doctors and like, but I don't know, employers using it seems like dystopian to me. Yeah, and you don't need a test that shows weeks old use when at work currently. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like what value does this information provide to the employer? Other than something that they can like kind of use against you, you know? I don't know. And there was an update for the situation in today's news. Wait, what was the update, JS? Was the update that now they're making laws to stop it? I don't know. All right, let's read a little bit about this. Or wait, actually, I preferred we'd only have another like 30 minutes. So I'm gonna read about the birds. The birds, the white stork. I didn't know that there were other kinds of storks. I thought they were just all white storks. Is there a black stork, a red stork, a blue stork? Do you ever see animals and just think, how the hell did this happen? You know? Do you ever just think like, I live in this simulation of biology where atoms have combined to form this symphony of utter nonsense, and yet it's also kind of beautiful. This chaotic mess of like just utterly baffling stuff. Like, I'll think about that if I go for a run, I see all these birds, and I'm like, you know, all these birds must like have such rich lives. Like I can't tell any of these birds apart, like within a species, right? All magpies look like the same magpie. You know, like I can't tell any of them apart, but they probably all know each other, right? I mean, maybe not everyone, but like within an area, those birds probably kind of get a sense of like, this is a friendly magpie I can hang out with. This is not one of my bros, you know. I was thinking, like, I don't even know where these birds nest. Like, I have never seen a nest for a raven, a magpie. Like, where are they? Like, I wouldn't even know where to look. I assume in trees, right? But they're here. They're always around. The birds are always around, never in a nest. Never in a nest. And you would think that the nests would be pretty visible because they're big birds. Wouldn't they need to make a pretty big nest? I feel like I'm more likely to see a blackbird nest. Kind of crazy. And then if you think about it, these birds, they might actually know me. Because I you know, like, I don't know, I feel like we're more distinctive because we wear different clothes and stuff. And I'm sure the same birds have seen me out on my run. They probably recognize me, right? At least a few of the birds might recognize me. But I have no idea who they are. This is my existential crisis rant right now. Yeah. Yeah, if the problem shows at work, then it's a problem. It's not about being drunk at work, but being drunk on vacation. Okay, that there's an update that Chocolatier has no right to tell the results of the test to the employer. Okay. Well, at least that's encouraging. The platypus Lorelei, that is a weird animal. I was going to say I've never seen one in real life, but I'm sure maybe at a zoo I've seen one. But I feel like that doesn't count, you know? Isn't the platypus in Australia? I feel like it comes from there. A white stork gets to be a black stork if they drop down a chimney. I mean, yeah, it's like, how else are they supposed to deliver the baby? You think about it a lot, but have to force yourself to stop, Lemon. Thinking about nature. I think about random stuff that and I love going down little rabbit holes of stuff that it's just like my little baby pea-sized brain can't handle, like especially physics stuff. Like, why does light travel at a slower speed in certain like media, like in glass or whatever? And then you find there's like it's weird. Because then I'm like, wait, shouldn't light always go at sea? Or is that just the speed limit? What is it? And then it's like, what does it mean for light to travel? Like, what, you know, because like there was explanations like that were wrong, apparently, that the reason light takes longer is because it's bouncing around. And so it's taking a longer path. So it's still traveling at sea, but it's just kind of, its path through the material is slower or is longer. And so it appears slower, but that's wrong. Because light doesn't travel like a bunch of little ping pong balls. There's something more fundamental happening with the way the atoms of the material warp the electromagnetic spectrum or something like this. Like, it's weird. I don't know. Yeah, marsupials tend to be in Australia. What type of animal is a possum? That's not a marsupial, is it? Because we have those in America. For some reason, I think they're like a weird branch of mammals, like marsupials. And corvids will keep grudges towards specific people. I've heard that as well. Platypus is one more animal of Australia that's there just to try to kill you. I know they have like poisonous or venomous spurs. Yeah, the leg thorn, very painful. Light travels in glass at slower speed because light makes the electrons resonate, and this affects the group velocity. Yeah, it's something weird like that, Polyu. I mean, maybe it is exactly that, what you just said. But I still don't, I mean, what does that even mean? Thinking, like, it's insane that we live in a world where we can, like, see and experience things. But at the most fundamental level, we can't see or experience it. Like, our model of what an atom looks like just doesn't make sense visually, even though it is the building block for everything that we do see and experience. It almost sounds like we're talking about stuff that's like just a mathematical concept for simulating a video game or something. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's a particle and a wave, or, it's like, how can it be both? I still don't understand the double slit experiment. And variations on it. And I think there's also, like, misconceptions about it as well, where was it Richard Feynman kind of explained it really well, but also people have taken away this impression that, like, if you send electrons one at a time, so it's like if you send electrons all at once, then it forms the wave pattern that you see on the opposite side of the double slit experiment. But if you send the electrons one at a time, it, like, doesn't do that or something, or it does do it as if it anticipates the interference. It's like, how can the electron know that there's a double slit? If there's one electron going through one slit, how does it know that the other slit exists? But that's kind of a misconception or something like this. I don't know. There's an upper limit on how deep I go down these rabbit holes. And I was getting to, like, so many different theoretical explanations on, like, Quora and Reddit and whatever. I was like I don't even know about this. Oh, you like to think about random things like that, but sometimes it goes so far that you get anxious, Lemon. Yeah. Australia's got cuter and friendlier one. The double slit experiment gets confusing if you try to think about light as one or the other. But if you just accept the wave-particle dualism as it just is, it makes total sense. Yeah, that's the crazy thing about it. Like, I don't know, there's something weird. It's kind of like I can sort of accept the nonsense of certain things if they happen far away, right? Like, if it's happening in a black hole or something, or, like, physics breaks down, and then it's like, okay, that's kind of crazy. But if you're telling me that literally the atoms and electrons and whatever that are in my brain right now composing this thought are of this kind of, like, incomprehensible dualistic nature, I don't know, that's insane. That's crazy, man. Oh, I haven't even read this yet. Okay, white storks. Sitten iloisia uutisia lintujen maailmasta. What? Why do I think... Is it like a happy? Why do I think iloinen means happy or joyful? Now it's like now, like, then, now, and the next, a joyful piece of news. I don't even know. I don't know how to speak English. A joyful news about birds. Birds' world. Like, now for a joyful, now for a light-hearted piece of news about the life of birds. right? That's probably the closest. Let's see what Google Translate comes up with, because this feels like a weird sentence. Then some happy news from the world of birds. Yeah, it's a little better. Yeah, the interference pattern happens if it is not known which slit the particles traveled through. Yeah, that was the other thing where it was like, if you observe it going through the slit, then it doesn't perform the pattern or something. It was very confusing. And then I saw like an interview with the famous, who's the famous physicist guy? I'm blanking on his name, but whatever. He was saying that that's like a huge misconception, that it's not like the electron knows that it's being observed. It's that in order to observe it, like you actually have to interact with it, and that changes the nature of the experiment. It's not like you're just watching something. Yeah. Quantum stuff is sus. Exactly, Lorelei. Stream is starting to experiment with the quantum stuff, apparently. Sometimes it doesn't go through, sometimes it does. But you're getting some hangups. Let me see here. I haven't dropped any frames on my end, according to OBS. But yeah, sometimes YouTube servers will mess up. Birdsies. Tyson. Wait, what's his full name? He's got like a magnificent full name. The Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Neil deGrasse Tyson, thank you. That's it. Thanks, Helion. Or Einstein. Yeah, no. I mean, yeah. AKA the Pluto killer. Look, give the people what we want. We want Pluto as a planet. Nobody asked for Pluto to be removed. Anyways. What is this? Katto haikara saanut oikassia kurussa. What? I don't know. This net, was this the nest or the chicks? The chicks. So it's saying that a white stork has gotten chicks in Turku. Right? A house heron has given birth to chicks. I'm gonna say that's wrong. Right? I don't know. I don't think house heron is a word. A white stork. I don't know. Maybe a house heron is another way of calling a stork. I've never heard that though. Should be on saanut. Oh, yeah. I guess it was this. Is that a typo in this case? Your big sis didn't even know until like a year ago that Pluto wasn't considered a planet anymore, because when she was in school, she learned it was. Same here. All right. Poikasten määrä ei vielä varmuudella tiedetä, mutta tavallisesti kattohaikara munii 2 tai 3 munaa. So it's saying the number of chicks is still or is not yet known with certainty. But usually the white stork lays 2 or 3 eggs. Did I not just dominate that translation? Can I just give myself a pat on the back for how good? Oh shoot. good my translation was. The number of chicks is not yet known for sure, but the stork usually lays 2 or 3 eggs. The problem with Neil deGrasse Tyson is that he doesn't know when to shut up, especially when talking outside his expertise. I mean, I'm not I don't follow Neil deGrasse Tyson that closely, but I don't know of the Controversies 27. It can be written without on, but yeah, so yeah, because it's like sometimes in news articles, like, you know, the headline will be just a phrase. You know, it won't be a grammatical sentence. It'll have words missing just for the sake of it being a headline. But that's not the case here. Poikaset syntyivät kenopesään. So saying the chicks were born in an artificial nest. Aikaravan hemmat auttoivat munia vuorotellen monta viikkoa. So it's saying that the white stork, the stork, because yeah, haikara is the stork, right? So yeah, the stork parents, that's the stork parents are incubating the eggs. I don't know this word, vuorotellen. They're incubating the eggs for many weeks, right? I don't know. Let's see what the chicks were born in an artificial nest. The stork parents took turns incubating the eggs for many weeks. So that's it means they did it like in turns. Vuorotellen. Yeah, yeah, these adverbs always get me. Adverbs are probably my weakest. Well, I was gonna say they're my weakest point of vocabulary, not my weakest point in the Finnish language. Pretty much anything. Saying anything in Finnish is my weakest point. But yeah. He has a nice voice to listen to. The problem might be that he thinks so too. Yeah, you do end up with this sort of like people who are, gravitate towards positions of influence who tend to be kind of full of themselves, or I don't know. But I don't really know much about Neil deGrasse Tyson. I hope that he's actually a really nice guy. Oh, you stopped listening to Star Talk. Is that like his podcast? When they started to mock softer sciences? Yeah, that's unfortunate. The mockery. The breeding range of a white stork doesn't extend to Finland, only to Estonia. That's why this is happy news, I guess. And the Star Talk podcast is fun to listen to, especially the guests. NGT and quote that other guy are sometimes extremely loud. Like, I don't listen to podcasts. My God, I listen to books. Like, okay, I'm gonna rant a little bit. There was this incredible opportunity where Concerned 8, the creator of my all-time favorite video game, Stardew Valley, went on the podcast of Bobby Lee. And I don't watch Bobby Lee. He's like a comedian. But that was a very difficult podcast to watch because Bobby Lee cannot shut up about himself. he had this incredible opportunity to ask the creator Stardew Valley. Also, I mean, you could have asked him any questions. And it was a long podcast. It was like an hour. I mean, maybe that's not long for a podcast, but like, and it wasn't completely pointless. I'll give some credit. Like it was, but like Bobby just spent the whole time quizzing Eric, the creator, about his own game. He was like, he made it into like a quiz game that was just like so pointless. Like testing the creator's knowledge of his own game because Bobby considers himself an expert on the game. And he wanted, and it was this weird dynamic where he was like, please notice me, senpai, or whatever. You know, it was just like, dude, he's just a guy who made a video game. It's a great game. Like, I don't know, why do I feel like it was disrespectful the way he treated him? Like, it was, to me, it was just so awkward. It was just like, stop being such like a fanboy. And like, I appreciated how much he appreciated the game and wanted to share that. Like there was definitely some of that, but it just felt like a child. Like he acted so much like it really immature in a way that I was just like, I'm really surprised. But then I looked at the comments. Everyone loved it. I realized, I'm like, I guess I'm not a fan of this podcast. So I kind of came in with different expectations of what I was hoping for. I mean, there are so many mysteries about the game he could have asked him. He could have asked him about the secret statues and what the weird names of the secret statues mean. The names are never explained in the game. They have question marks in the name. And like, it could be so interesting to get like some backstory to that. No. You know, and he could have asked about so many little details, but it was so clear that he didn't do any preparation for having the creator on. He basically was like, let me show you my Stardew save. And I'm just going to show you all of my warehouses full of machines and look to you constantly for approval. Like, are you impressed? Are you impressed? It was just like, man, I was like, if I was Eric, I wouldn't want to do interviews like that. Like it was just so awkward. And he crossed a line because he gave Eric crap about the 1.6 update not being available on Switch. And I was like, dude, you got to chill out with that. Like, because he was like, just hire people. And it was like, I'm like, dude, that's so disrespectful. And like, it's so unaware of what it's actually like to make a game and port it, you know? And it's not as simple as just like clicking a button. Like, there's a whole process behind the scenes, especially with Nintendo. And Eric was so nice about it. And he like was like, yeah, like I take responsibility. But I was like, dude, man, that was like, maybe stuff like that. That's why I don't like podcasts. It's just so much nonsense. Like people just talking out of their ass. There are good podcasts, but like those when they're more scripted, you know, and it's like you're actually learning something. But yeah, that's my rant. I was a little bothered by it. I felt like it was a missed opportunity, and I hope Eric does more interviews despite that. It didn't seem like Eric was all that bothered by it. Maybe I'm more bothered by it. It's not for all, but you like having, it's like having a discussion that you only have to listen into. I mean, that is actually a good point. Like, there are times that I have enjoyed podcasts like that. Like, for me, the Dear Hank and John podcast, I've enjoyed and I've returned to every few years. I come back and I just start listening to it again just to see what the Vlogbrothers are up to. Yeah, the sounds of nature are better out in the forest. I agree. Yeah. Where were we? We almost finished this. Yeah. The white stork. They made the same mistake again. They didn't put on. Katto haikara on saanut poikasia Turussa. So yeah, the white stork has gotten chicks in Turku. Tämä on vastatoinen kerta, kun katto haikara pesi Suomessa. This is the... I don't know vasta, what that means, but it's like... Is it like this is the second time? This is the second time when a white stork has nested in Finland? Edellinen kerta, the previous time. Okay, so yeah, it does make sense that it was the second time. I guess vasta means like just or only. This is only the second time. The previous time was in Koskela, lähellä Turkua, near Turku, 10 years ago. 10 vuotta sitten. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, this is only the second time that a white stork, has nested in Finland. The last time was in Koska, near Turku, 10 years ago. That sentence reads like a chapter title. This one, yeah, like it was probably in the original article. Yeah, like, yeah, it's... What is it? Sort of like a subheading or whatever within the article. And yeah, that's what I was thinking as well, JS. Yeah, like kind of like the title of the article will omit some unnecessary words. Maybe that's kind of what this was in the original. In Koski. Yeah, okay, thank you. Koski. I said Koskela. I just was like, but yeah. A white house stork. It's a kind of stork that you can keep at home, you know? It's not a wild stork, it's a house stork. It's been domesticated, you know? It's good with kids. Not what the storks are good for. But yeah. All right, this was a good session. All right, you can't say I didn't learn Finnish this week, all right? Last week, we were light on the Finnish learning. This week, we got some more words. What were some of the difficult ones? We had, yeah, this kiinnittää huomiota, which is to draw attention to. What other ones? We had this ulottua, to extend. And then this one for the storks, hautoa, to incubate. Tutkia, to block, not to be confused with tutkia, to research. And varmuudella, with certainty. Ympäristöliike, an environmental movement. I was thinking of a union, liitto. What other ones did I get it wrong? Runsas, meaning heavy or abundant. Otta kiinni, to detain, to arrest, or to catch. Verinäyte is a blood sample. Loukata, to infringe, to violate. It could also mean to wound, but in this context, it was just about violating workers' rights, or personal privacy, I guess, was the term. Potkut, dismissal, termination, a more informal term than irtisanominen. Ulottua, to extend, we had that one, yeah. Mielenosoittaja, a protester. Yeah, this yksityisyyden suoja, privacy protection. Keinopesä, artificial nest. Oh, that was older. Olla mukana, be involved. Yeah, very good. Good. This new Terraria update is weird, Nick. Yeah. Thanks for dropping by, Nick. For a second, I was thinking, wait, did Terraria just drop a new update and you're playing it already? But yeah, can't you see Terraria has a new secret language. All right, it's Elvish for a video game. But yeah, we're just now wrapping up stream. So thank you guys for all joining me once again on this epic quest of stumbling through the finish line. It really is honestly like a Hobbit's journey. Like if you think of the Hobbits so completely inept and unprepared and just in over their heads, heading off to freaking Mordor. That's me trying to learn Finnish. All right. I don't know where I am in this journey, but I feel like I've been stuck in the mines of Moria for way too long. You know, I don't even have a Gandalf to protect me from the Balrog. I'm getting skill checked by the Balrog. And I have to reload my save. I'm never getting out of here. And there you go. You got your Tolkien reference for the evening without too much of a rant. But yeah, it was a good language learning session this week. I'll be back again next Tuesday as usual. And but in the meantime, I'll be streaming Terraria. So if you want to drop by one of those streams, it'd be good to see you guys in chat there as well. I stream on Thursdays and sometimes other days. But yeah. Wait, what is this? Pesa nest. Keno pesa, artificial nest. Aromi pesa. Something completely different. Keno aromi pesa, an MSG nest. Aromi keno pesa. You don't want to know the things that I sometimes think. Helion, what? Maybe I'll have to look that up off stream in an incognito tab. we don't want that showing up in the browser history. All right, don't look that up on your work computer. All right. Mordor and Mount Doom are the Uki tests then? I mean, maybe. Honestly, it kind of feels like I'll never get there. I get it. It's like the breaking of the fellowship is the Uki test. That's just the beginning of the challenge, but whatever. Yeah. All right, guys, have a good rest of your week and hope to see you all in the next live stream. Goodbye.